This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
And we're back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton, joined by Jim Doyle, Senior Financial Consultant with Investors Group. On Boomer Life today, we're talking about your financial future, where a well thought out plan for your financial future is an integral part of building the life that you want for yourself and for your family. I really appreciate, Jim, how you address the idea that we work with an advisor to help simplify what we need to focus on and things that we should ignore. So when it comes to becoming money smart, where would you suggest we start?
If you haven't achieved or experienced the financial success you've wanted in the past, it's never too late to start taking steps to build a better future, to understand your choices and feel confident in your decision making. To carve out your own path, however, you might need to get a little bit out of your comfort zone. And I think sometimes working with somebody who can help you do that is a great way to start things. Don't be embarrassed. Financial knowledge takes time to build, and it's a great investment for your part in the process. Your advisor's job, basically, I guess to help you from keeping making those mistakes that you can't recover from. Equally important, don't be afraid to ask a lot of questions. Okay, in my practice, I find the more questions, the better answers you get. Regaining financial independence means taking charge of your financial future. You may not have all the tools today, but with my help, we can change that. We can help you change that. Okay, if you want things to be different for 2015, you have to do things differently. So consider how you're going to work with your advisor. It could be as simple as a phone call to get started. And I think the big part of that is to have an honest assessment of where you are financially, your skills or challenges around making money decisions, and what financial habits would you most likely like to improve or change. It also talks about establishing meaningful priorities and what things actually matter to you most, to you, your family.
So what I think I hear is that investment selection is important, but what really counts is focusing on the hows and whys of what your money is supposed to do for you, the elements that really matter.
Last week I sat down with a couple that had a family cottage that had been in the family for a long period of time, and they're trying to figure out how to pass it on to their kids. This was really something special to this family. So they said, well, how do we go about this? I suggested they have a conversation with their kids to get an idea of what they really wanted. And it turns out one of the kids wasn't interested in owning the property, but the other one was. And as the case, and often situations like this, there were some sizable tax issues that we needed to look at. And we also needed to talk about some sort of structure for estate equalization. When I spoke to the parents about this issue, said it had been on their minds for quite a while, and they carried it around, unsure of how best to solve this situation.
Did you actually have the conversation about what if the kids didn't want it?
Well, actually we did, and surprisingly enough, they were comfortable with that as a possibility.
It's good. Covered all the basics. There's never a better time than now to get started. So let's talk about some of the key steps that we need to put into place to build financial security. Where do we start?
Choose your advisor well, Creating great financial habits can be a little bit uncomfortable, and we want to work with those, I think, that can help you get in control of your situation. And you need to be honest with your advisor about your knowledge, your experiences, and your expectations. To build a great financial plan, you'll need to gather your records and your data and so forth, and we've talked about before about your income and expenses, and determine what are your goals and expectations. It probably starts best with clarity of your current financial situation and identifying any problem areas or opportunities. Next is to understand what your investments are and what risks or benefits are associated with them. I often ask folks, is this liquid? Can this provide an income? And I'm surprised that some folks, I guess, don't really understand their investments that well. So if this is your situation, you're probably not going to be alone. One of the key things we want to suggest is to stay disciplined and keep your focus and not let market turmoil sway your planning decisions. And then you want to regularly monitor, review, and assess your financial plan. Remember that all your financial decisions are integrated, and the bottom line is achieving your goals.
So, Jim, let's come back to some thoughts we touched on earlier in the show regarding ways to do things differently for 2015. Some of those things that could be holding us back. You know what they say, sometimes people are their own worst enemies.
Yeah, it's easy to be pulled off track when it comes to investing. Financial habits have as much to do with achieving one's goal of financial independence as do market performances themselves. Many of us probably could reach financial independence sooner if we simply practiced patience and stuck to a plan. Having the ability to stay calm in the face of market booms and busts can work wonders for your finances. Unfortunately, some investors feel compelled to shortcut the process, seeking immediate results. They want to get rich quick. And as a result, they may end up chasing performance. Moving money around too often triggers tax and fees, and that could end up hurting your portfolio and long-term financial security by canceling out the diminishing or the extra returns that you were chasing in the first place. Avoid making rash decisions and wait out stock market volatility. Sticking with a consistent savings and investment strategy for decades requires a great deal of patience, but will almost certainly make you better off financially.
So what I've learned today is it's never too late to set yourself on the right path financially. Today we talked about behaviors that could be holding people back and ways to start building great financial habits. Pretty powerful stuff. Jim, if you could just leave us with a few final messages, something to look forward to in the future.
I think one of the strongest things that I want to suggest is determine how you're going to work with your advisor, okay? And look at your financial situation with an idea to where you want to go and what things can you do well and what things you need to improve on. You need to understand your relationship with money to provide a stronger benefit and advise clients build more wealth. In the end, it's not just about money. It's about the hows and whys of your investment choices in the context of reviewing these results, your risk levels taken and needed, and finally the tax consequences. Consider that investing alone doesn't just involve choosing investments. There's an awful lot of other aspects that touch on finances and money and family. And finally, if you want to achieve a better outcome this year, you need to take action. If you have a hard time doing this on your own, ask how we can help. So we want you to remember the 3 T's if we can. Time, to do the research and anticipate the tax consequences. Technique, knowing what you're doing and the knowledge that goes with that. And temperament, emotional control.
Thank you very much, Jim. You've been listening to Boomer Life on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton. Today, we have been speaking with Jim Doyle, Senior Financial Consultant with Investors Group on planning for 2015. Financial security is a paramount goal for most Canadians. The need for advice has never been greater. Make 2015 the year you rediscover confidence in your financial future. And if you have any questions for Jim, even about making RRSP contributions as part of your financial plan before the deadline March 2nd, I invite you to call him or check him out on his website, jimdoyle.ca. But here's the phone number, 1-800-665-7178 or 604-682-5431. Thanks for listening to Boomer Life on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton.